Hello everybody, this is day 8 of our astronomy unit, and in today's lesson we spoke about the possibility of mining raw materials from different celestial objects in space. And today's independent work is focused on doing some research on the benefits and the challenges that are associated with space mining, and then kind of taking all that research and participating in a debate of whether or not we should be using resources, which include using the technology, the effort, like the manpower, the money, all of the resources that we have. Should we use those resources to fund mining in space and pursue that uh, undertaking? So I'll be using this Google Doc just to kind of go through how I would do some research and find some information on this. So here we have a table on top, and the instructions say to use the references listed below to collect information about the benefits and challenges, and to try to include at least two benefits and two challenges, unless your teacher told you to do anything different. After that, after you just do some research on both the pros and the cons, then you're going to come up with your response as to whether or not we should be using resources to fund mining in space. When you present your claim down here, you're going to want to make sure that you're using details from your research in order to provide support for your claim. A really great debater is going to have a counterclaim ready, so presenting the other side of the argument, and then also talking about why that side of the argument is not as valid as the claim that they're making. So if you click this link, you'll see a number of different resources down here. You can choose any of these, or you can do your own research. Just a few things to consider when trying to pick out a source for information. The best places that you can really look would be places like scientific journals that are put out by organizations. Usually the URL would be a .org or a .gov. Those are trusted sources. Anything that's like a peer-reviewed journal would be good. Any primary sources like a newspaper or a magazine article, those are still going to be good, but they're only going to be as good as the publisher. So if you find something that's like the New York Times or a big publication, most of the time that's going to be somewhat reliable. If you go to someone's blog, which is a little bit less regulated, someone can just be kind of posting information on the internet without an editor or without too much accountability. So do pay attention to your source. So we're going to try to find information that both supports and opposes it. I think definitely in the videos that we watched in today's lesson, as well as you're going to see during your research, there's a lot of potential benefits that are associated with space mining. So I'm going to look at one that's a little bit against space mining. So if we click these links, you'll be brought to a site, and sometimes a website is going to have a paywall, meaning if you try to access the article, it's going to say, wait a second, you need to be a member if you want to, or a subscriber if you want to read this. So one little workaround I have is if you click this URL and you copy it, you can close this and open up a incognito window and paste the URL there. So when you do that, a little bit more hidden to the publisher, and you're going to be able to access that journal article without paying for a subscription. You'll have access to it. So if we look down here, I read this article before. It says here space mining is going to create debris because you're mining in a vacuum with very low gravity, and because these asteroids will be passing close to Earth, you could get streams of debris which will take satellites out. So that could damage some of the satellites that we have going around Earth. So if I find something like that, I'm going to want to take it, and if you want, you can copy and paste it, or if you want, you can just record it here just by paraphrasing. So mining in a vacuum could potentially create debris that will damage Earth's satellites. And I want to keep track of where I'm collecting my information. I got that from Globe and Mail, which is a periodical out of, I believe, Montreal, a newspaper out of Montreal, Canada. So I'm going to just put Globe and Mail in parentheses. So I'm keeping track of where I have my information. That way I can go back to that source later on if I need to. Now from there, if I have this one challenge, I could do a little bit further research and see if I can find any more information that's associated with it. So there are more sources down here, but I'm also going to share another website that I like to use, which is Novel New York. So when you type into Google, Novel NY, it's novelnewyork.org. If you want to go to that URL, you can also just type in novel NY, and it should be the first thing that comes up in search. And from here, on the front page, you're going to go to search the novel NY databases, and you're going to go down, and there are kind of three links here underneath general reference and school oriented. So we have Gale in Context Elementary, which are going to be easier texts for like kindergartens to grade 5. We have middle school, and then this opposing viewpoints is a little bit more rigorous, a little bit more high school level. I like this one. If you're looking for an easier read, you can go down to the middle school one. But by accessing this link, this is going to give you access to a number of different journals and periodicals that you might not otherwise have access to through this New York Online Virtual Library. So I might want to look up space mining in my search bar, and here I can search up on top by the type of article. So if I wanted to, I can click on academic journals, which are going to be peer-reviewed journals. And here's an article on space mining from Issues in Science and Technology. So I actually provided you the link for that one as well over here. Is that the one? Space mining? No, that's not the one. Here's new policies needed in Issues in Science and Technology. Here's another one that I actually didn't include, so now you know where to find it. And this is from the same journal, which is Issues in Science and Technology. So once you find one piece of information, it could lead you to finding a new piece of information. So once you fill out that little graphic organizer on top, you're going to want to take everything that you've learned and you're going to want to make your own claim. So based on all the research that you've done, do you still think it's worthwhile to spend resources and invest in looking to try to begin mining in space? Remember that the best arguments are going to talk about both sides of the debate. So if your claim is that it is not worth the resources to pursue space mining, you want to present your reasons why you believe in that. And then you also want to present why people think that it would be beneficial to go mining in space, and then say why their argument isn't as valid as the claim and the evidence that you're making. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, do your research, make sure that you're finding reliable sources, make sure that you're citing your sources, and whatever claim you have, it's only as good as the evidence that you also provide to support it. So good luck. Hopefully your teacher has got a pretty good debate lined up for you. So go into that debate prepared, do your research, and come out looking like the smartest person in the room. Good luck, and I'll see you next time. Bye.